Hello friends, my name is Mohsin Mullah and I welcome you all to this video lecture. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss about unit commitment. So already we have seen previously in various video lectures that how we can distribute load among various units of a plant. But sometimes now what will happen, so if all the units are running all the time, it is not going to be an economical operation. So now here we have to talk about unit commitment. Suppose if there is a particular amount of load available on a particular time or particular day, then we have to fix certain units of a plant. Those units are only going to supply that amount of demand. Okay, so if the demand is changing, then we are going to select different units as per the requirement, or we can also select different combination of units to supply a particular load demand. So generally what will happen, so if there is a say power plant available, so it will have a number of units operating in that power plant. So suppose there one thermal power plant you can consider, suppose there are 10 units, so it is not possible to run all the 10 units all the time. Okay, so only some of the units in a different combinations will be operating to supply a particular amount of load. Suppose if I try to explain to you that in terms of this a simple diagram, suppose there is a this particular type of plant available and there are different units, 1 2 3, I'll not take all 10 but some I'll take some number of units here, say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, and these all units are having their own individual capacities. Some might be, so I'll just take the maximum capacity. So suppose this is might be having 250 megawatt, so this is having 300 megawatt, so this might be having 100 megawatt, and another might be having 500 megawatt, so another may be having 400, another may be having suppose another 300. Okay, one may be having say up to say 200 megawatt. Okay, so like this different units are having different capacities. Now suppose here energy consumption will be continuously changing, it is not a constant value. So suppose from morning till evening, if you take the different times, so time of the day, so there will be different demand on the power plant, and during the evening time, basically during the evening time there will be a peak demand. It is because say in early evening what will happen, almost all the industries are already working, so they are consuming the energy, as well as because of the evening time, so there will be lights turned on the highways. Okay, so because of that also there will be increase in the you can say demand, and also there will be lights turned on the commercial establishments, historical monuments, and some other such areas where illumination is required. So because of that there will be increase in the demand, so in the early hours of the evening. So throughout the day, if you take, so early hours of the evening will be having maximum demand. So now to supply that particular amount of demand, so there will be a fixed number of units operating at that time. But if you take say late evening or almost at the night times, all the industries will be shut, and only the you can say lights in the domestic houses for their purposes will be turned on, so which will be having a minimum demand. So at that time different units will be operated because of their because of it is required to operate the power plant at economic condition. Okay, so we cannot unnecessarily generate all the power if it is not required, because we have to bear the cost of that fuel used in the generation of electricity. So depending upon the different you can say fuel costs of the different generating units, so it might be decided. Okay, so we'll see that in with respect to a particular. So now here what I want you to understand is, suppose there is a demand of say PD1 equal to, suppose I will take a 600 megawatt of demand. So now PD1 will be supplied by 600 megawatt. So suppose here I have two units, one is 300 and another one is 300, 2 and 6. So I can turn on these two units to supply that particular demand of PD1. Okay, so that is one combination. And then also it is possible that I may want to turn on only these fifth and seventh unit to supply the demand of PD1 600 megawatt. Okay, so now what will happen? So between the particular range of power generated at a particular time, suppose or you can say particular amount of demand available at a particular time, so number of units are to be fixed, so these units are going to operate. So it is also possible to have a combination of this 5 and 6 to supply the PD1. But here what will happen, so it might so happen that the combination of this 300 and this 600 unit 2 and this unit 6 are having the you can say less incremental fuel cost, so because of which these two units are operating at a optimal condition. So therefore we can commit these two units for supplying power up to 600 megawatt. So we can just take unit here unit number 2 and 6. So here we will be committing this unit, so I'll just highlight it with some other color so you'll understand. So we are going to commit unit 2 and unit 6, so to supply only the 600 megawatt of the demand. Okay, so now suppose if the there is increase in the demand, so suppose if the demand is say PD2, now PD2 is around about say 800 megawatt. So from 600 to 800 megawatt, so now again you will be having a number of combinations. So it is so possible that you can use this fourth unit and this unit, fourth and sixth unit. So this can also be used here. Fourth and sixth unit can supply the 800 megawatt of power. Okay, so whenever there is a power reaching to 800 megawatt, then in that case the unit 2 will be turned off and unit 4 will be turned on, and it will supply the power of around 800 megawatt. So likewise for lower values also, say for 100 megawatt, so there is unit 3 that can alone be operated. For 200 megawatt, so unit 2 can alone be operated. Okay, and for 300, so out of 2 or 6 anyone can be operated. Likewise for different, we can say power demands, different combinations of this can be obtained. So whatever we are committing for a particular demand, okay, so commitment of, so here I'll just try to put in the simple words, these are not the technical definition, I'll give you the that later. So here basically it is nothing but the commitment of units to supply a particular demand. Particular demand is called as unit commitment. So here two cases are possible. Individually units are also committed, and also the combination of units is also committed to supply a particular amount of load. Okay, so now suppose in the case of so here in India particularly, the demand is changing continuously as the say days time is changing, or weekdays, and on weekends there will be low demand, as well as there will be high demand during the summer season compared to the you can say the rainy season. So likewise so as the demand is changing continuously, so the different combinations will be decided and they will be fixed, and depending upon the demand arriving, so there will be a program. So that program will automatically select a set of units, predetermined set of units to commit to a particular load demand. So that is how the unit commitment will be, you can say, exercised, and because of which we will be able to get the economical operation of the power plant for any kind of demand that is incoming on the that particular power plant. Okay, so sometimes what will happen, so other generators will be just kept in case suppose one of the generator gets failed, in that case the other generator will be supplying the required low demand. But as long as the economic generators are operating, so those generators will be always committed to that particular demand until their capacity is surpassed. Okay, so only when their capacity is surpassed, the other you can say units will be turned on to supply the excessive power, or in case of some abnormal operation, suddenly there is some increase in the demand or failure of some of the generators, so other units will be supplying that particular amount of demand which was committed by some other units. Okay, otherwise most of the time the units committed will only be supplying the required power demand. Okay, so now let us try to understand this with help of actual you can say expressions of the units here. Suppose if I take 3 units, I will take the example of 3 units here. So here there is a unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3. Okay, so now this unit 1, unit 2, unit 3 will be having their own minimum and maximum value. So here its P minimum suppose is P minimum is 160 megawatt and P max is 600 megawatt. Okay, and similarly here P max for the second unit is say it is 100, sorry, P minimum first. So here P minimum is 100 megawatt and P max is 450 megawatt. Here P min is say 50 megawatt and P max is 250 megawatt. Okay, so likewise you can say we have minimum and maximum values, as well as these particular units will be having their own cost equations. Okay, fuel cost equations. So fuel costs are given for unit 1 is suppose it is given by 600 plus 7.1 P1 plus 0.00141 P1 square. Then similarly for unit 2 we have got say 350 plus 350 plus 7.8 P2 plus 0.00195 P2 square. Then for third unit F3 is nothing but 80 plus then 8.0 P3 plus 0.0049 P3 square. Okay, so now if you observe the equation for this fuel, so fuel cost, so what we see is that for the unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3 the fixed charges are 600, 350 and 600, 350 and 80. Okay, but if you take the components of P1 and P1 square, P2, P2 square, P3, P3 square, so in that case it can be seen that so here for P1 so here I'll just try to write this. So fixed component, I'll write fixed component of this cost is so 800 which is greater than 350 which is greater than 80. So in that way, so here you can write for uh, so here you can write for this is for the unit 1, this is for unit 1, this is for unit 2 and this is for unit 3. Okay, and if you take the components I'll just write P components of P. So what are the components of P? So here you can write this components of P are 7.1 and then 7.8 and then 8.0. so here if you see this is the case. So here what we see is the component of here unit 1 is smallest. Okay, it is smaller than the unit 2, and that is also smaller than the unit 3. Okay, and as well as components of p square. So if you try to see the components of p square, so here again p1 for the unit 1 it is smaller, 0.00141 is smaller than 0.0019, which is smaller than 0.0049. Okay, so again here this unit, so this unit 1, 2 and 3, so unit 1 is smaller than unit 2 and which is smaller than unit 3. Okay, so it means what? So when there is a suppose demand of 500 megawatt, okay, suppose there is a demand of 500 megawatt, so from this analysis what we can see, the overall cost of the unit 3 unit 1, overall cost of the unit 1 will be smaller than the overall cost of unit 2, and which is also smaller than the unit 3. Means unit 1 is most economical, next economical is unit 2, and third economical is the third unit. So that is the condition. Therefore the unit 1 will be turned on and it will be committed to supply the load up to 500 megawatt, or its maximum capacity is 600 megawatt. So up to 600 megawatt, so only unit 1 can be kept on. So as soon as the load increases beyond 600 megawatt, so in that case the unit 2 is most economical, so unit 2 will be committed. Suppose if the load is around say 800 megawatts, so in that case the combination is unit 1 plus unit 2, so all the time unit 1 and unit 2 will be working as long as the demand is 800 megawatt. So likewise if the demand is say more than say their together capacity is say 1100 megawatt or so, so in that case all the three units are necessary to be turned on. So therefore in that case unit 1, unit 2, unit 3 will be committed all together to supply that amount of demand. So here for the lesser you can say less than the capacity of the first unit, only unit 1 is committed. Then once the demand increases beyond the capacity of first unit, second unit, and after both the capacities are over, then third unit will be operated. So that is how the units are committed in this particular scenario. So if you try to put all of them in the form of a table here, so you will be able to see how we can do the that particular loading here. So say maximum capacities are how much? 250 plus 450 plus 600. So I'll just try to write. So here max capacity of the power generation, it is equal to 600 plus 450 plus 250. So here it will be 700 plus 600, which is 1300 megawatt. And minimum is how much? Minimum is nothing but minimum 160 plus 160 plus 100 plus 50. So this is going to be 260 plus 50, 310 megawatt. Okay, so the demand will start from 310 megawatt to maximum demand of maximum capacity of 13 megawatt. Okay, so 1300 megawatt. Suppose if the full demand is available, so suppose beginning the full demand is available, say 1300 megawatt is available. So in that case say unit 1, unit 2 and unit 3. So here all the units should be turned on to supply this much amount of power, and let us say the demand is decreasing by 100 megawatt. So for 1200 again this should be on, unit 2 should be on and unit 3 should be on. Even for 1100 this should be on, this should be on, and this should be on. Okay, so once the power drops below 1000 megawatt, so in that case the third unit can be turned off. Okay, because now it is these two units are capable of supplying 1050 megawatts, so two units are sufficient. So this is the commitment for 1000 megawatt. So when it comes to 900 megawatt, again both of them needs to be operated. Again for 800, both of them. For 700 also, both of them, because the maximum capacity of first generator is, so here it is off now all the time. Okay, so again similarly, say for 600 megawatt, so here this will be on and this will become now off, and unit 3 is already off. Okay, so 500 megawatt also, this will be on and this will be off. Okay, so here this will be off. So likewise, now minimum capacity we can take 500 megawatt to 1300 megawatt. So anything above 310 megawatt can be acceptable here. At the max it can reach only up to 1300 megawatt. So here these are nothing but the commitment of the units for different, you can say, load demand available on that particular power plant. Okay, so now here we have basically considered, to obtain this particular table, unit commitment table, we have considered only one constraint, which is minimum value and maximum value of the power generation by particular unit. But there are other constraints also available, which also needs to be considered while determining the unit commitment. So in this particular video lecture, this much it. So we are going to see the next content of, you can say, related to the constraints on the unit commitment in the next video lecture. So till then, happy learning and thank you.